Time now for the voice of the land on the Big Play Network with your hosts, Kevin Arnold and Always Positive Jay.
The team that's actually playing, that's where we got to start. And we're not going to come up with a title every single week when you got a 162-game season and, 2 weeks they're playing like crap. The other 2 weeks they're playing tremendously. And then now it looks like the young guys, I don't know, Jay, I hear Terry Francona, I've heard him say this several times. We ask these guys to do a lot. You're asking young guys to do a lot at a level that, yes, they're ready for, but are they ready to contend and compete at that level? When you get up here in July, you're starting to get to the All-Star break. Once you come out of that, focus really starts to hone in on getting those playoff spots, getting to the playoffs and playing your best baseball by that point. This team is going to have to, if they're going to even get themselves in to give themselves a chance, they're going to have to find a way to maintain energy.
I mean, if you want to stay up, too, you better play hard and put up some numbers because they got some good guys, good young players in the farm system ready to come up and play. Like Nolan Jones, we called him up. Came up, he's doing a great job so far. If he can just maintain that, it'd be awesome. Loving this, all I can say is loving this kid's swing. Finally got a big guy and a big bat in there that we need. But yeah, they need to re-energize or something. They need to do something to get back on a roll because right now, when you lose to the Tigers like they did, like the Tigers, like, oh my God, did that take the wind out of our sails, I feel like. And then we come back and lose to the Royals, like, these are teams that we should be beating, and we're losing to them right now. And it just, like everyone's saying, they look gassed. I mean, the All-Star break can't get here soon enough.
And, Peter, while I know you and I both are sharing the show to try to get some comments in here as well, but we can't even see this team, but we just feel, you kind of feel that energy or that lack thereof of energy, that deflation of energy in this squad. Do you buy into that they're out of gas being so young? They should be, a lot of people would probably tell you on the other side, playing devil's advocate, they'd probably say, well, they're young. They should be, young, vibrant, energetic, ready to play every single day.
Well, right, and that's kind of what I feel like. They should be, this is their chance to come up and prove themselves. They should be full of energy. I think the problem, too, is there's a lot, coming up for the first time to the majors. That's a big step, and I don't know how much we could expect from these guys right off the bat. If they settle in, hopefully we get some improvement there. It's frustrating too because when's the last time they had a day off? They just had a day off, but they had that really long stretch of like 16 or 18 games in 14 days or whatever it was.
Yeah,
and we kind of said, well, we're going to know a lot after the 4th of July where this team is and what this team looks like. And I think we do. There's a lot of potential there.
They seem like a young team, just above 500 team.
And
that's got a lot of growth they got to do.
Right. And whether they can come together and, get past that, hopefully the All-Star break will be kind of a reset for them and they can come out strong from that. But, time will tell.
Time will tell with this team. I think the biggest issue is, and it's the biggest issue in just fandom in general in this town, is just the way that people kind of approach the teams in this town. Like, I don't know, Twitter has gotten me all...
I have stayed so much off of Twitter, it's ridiculous.
I have tried...
I go on there and everyone's just like, oh, they're just arguing about people arguing at this point. I'm like... Yeah, all right, I'm just going off here now. I'm there for the animal videos, pretty much.
Argue the argument that was argued several weeks ago when people decided to argue with each other or even themselves. I don't know. A lot of people started jumping on the bandwagon. Now they're jumping off. Should they lose the way that they did to the Tigers? Absolutely not. There is no excuse for that kind of performance in Detroit. You cannot lose to teams that, they somehow made a deal with their first or third base coach that if they won 6 in a row as a team, they would shave his head. They didn't expect to be doing that, to be winning 6 in a row. Yes, they're calling up their minor leaguers as well, but they're in a place of truly rebuilding. And then somehow, well, Miggy Cabrera he's a shell of himself. But boy, when he sees that Cleveland on the front of the jersey,
he is a Cleveland killer, man.
Just every single time. And okay, he's going to do that. That's just the way it is. But you can't lose to the Tigers that way. No energy, tired, not tired, whatever it is, young, inexperienced, all of those things. Yes, those are viable. Don't want to say excuses, but those are viable reasons why this team is in a valley or at the bottom of the hill of the roller coaster right now, and they're still on the ride. You have Terry Francona. You have these kids that are coming up and starting to realize what it means to play in the majors. Yeah, it's great to see Nolan Jones up here, of course, a friend of ours here on the show, but more when with CBC TV, AA Anthony Alford, back at OMS. He called that guy being good. Take him a little bit longer, maybe COVID, maybe those seasons that he lost, whatever it might be. The future is bright, but now they put themselves in a position where they could be the present is bright. You have to trust in Terry Francona. If they're going to make the playoffs, you have to trust in Terry Francona, and you're going to have to live with this. But if you started watching them when they were good, continue watching them because they still bring fun elements to the ballpark.
I mean, they're just a fun baseball team to watch for sure.
Right.
But another part we're missing out on too is, yeah, they're young and maybe they're tired, but the engine of this offense has been slumping big time, and that's Jose Ramirez. And hopefully, it looks like he's starting to come out of it a little bit. But man, he was slumping bad during that losing streak. And if he's going, this team's going. If he ain't going, this team slumps usually.
And it just seems to be every year with Cleveland baseball. It doesn't matter what the team name is. You know, you got your big DH that starts out slow every single year. That big bat in the lineup that's supposed to go with your star, with Jose Ramirez in Franmil Reyes. Starts out slow. Guess what? He's starting to pick it up a little bit. Everybody else is in the dumpster.
Yeah.
I think it was, I forget who it was. I think it was Matt Fontana on ESPN Cleveland. I heard this stat, and then I saw it also kind of floated out there on Twitter, that before the big outburst of runs yesterday, I think they won 13-1 against Kansas City. Then you come back and you lose 5-1 today. You have no idea what Zach Greinke is throwing at you at all, and I
think he's owned us twice this year now.
Yeah, and that's also a common Cleveland thing. You score a bunch of runs after you haven't scored any for a while. You get them all out in one day, and you come back and barely can hit the baseball and put it in play at all. The other side of it is, Jose Ramirez hits that 2-run bomb yesterday and had a couple good at-bats yesterday. But before that point, he had 1 RBI since June 15th. He goes into cold spells. We've seen that throughout his career as well. That's what, probably separates him from Rafael Devers. Rafael Devers plays on Boston. His name is probably more recognizable by baseball fans. And Rafael Devers is maybe just a little bit more consistent.
That, and he has JT Martinez protecting him.
He does. But, hey, you want your stars to have other guys around him. You can't rely on one guy. By bringing up Nolan Jones, you know what message that shows to me? Oh, we got to bring up this one guy that's now going to energize this team back, just like Oscar Gonzalez did before he got hurt. You can't rely just on one guy. It's got to be all 9. If you're going to play with a roster like the Guardians have, you're going to need to win with all 9 plus your pitching staff. And the pitching staff has not been very good lately either. The bullpen has not been as good. Everybody just looks out of it like they have forgotten how to play baseball. Am I going to stop trying to find different ways to watch them or keep an eye on what they're doing? No. That's the difference between actually saying that you're a fan of the team and being a fan of the team. I don't want to call people out, and we try not to do that here, but there are some fake fans that
They're
just live
fair weather fans, Kevin.
That just live in Twitter. Like, if that's what you want to do, that's fine. I'm not here to tell you not to do that. Just go find another team to be a fair weather fan of. Because Cleveland is not that type of city. That's not what this fandom was brought up on. That's not how I was brought up to be a fan of these teams. I was brought up to be a fan through the highs and the many, many lows that this city has gone through. If you can't do that, you want to live through social media, by all means, go ahead and do it.
What always baffle me is the forgiveness we have for the Browns that, like, just sucked for as long as I was alive, pretty much. And the Indians, who just constantly put out contenders. And when, like, the rebuilds are only, like, 2 years long, if that.
Yeah.
And then like, oh, I can't believe we traded that star and end up getting 4 stars from him. And that guy ends up not doing good. All they do is make awesome moves after awesome. They don't have that payroll, and everyone gets all salty about that. I understand it, and I'm one of those people. But they still put out a winner almost every single year. Like, this team should totally get more support. I mean, I wanted to wear my Guardians jersey today, but I was like, if they win, I'll wear it. If they lose, they won't. So I didn't get to wear it yet and reveal it on the show, which I wanted to. But, yeah, you got to stick by your team. You can't just be bailing because of a bad losing streak. And just also, I'm not – me and the old host of the show used to just go at it all the time. I don't boo my team. Like, I just don't do it. I think it makes it worse. Like, why add – like, it's such a psychology – like, there's so much psychology to the game – and you just don't want to mess with people's heads. Like, it just, that don't help. We're not New York. We don't do that crap. When you're down, we lift you up.
I don't do it either, but again, I'm not here to tell people again, like, to not do that. Like, if that's what you feel you have to do, then fine. I just don't feel like that fits what Cleveland is about. And to the people that think that David Blitzer, the minority owner now of the Guardians, over the next 6 years could take over, you think he's coming in to save the day? I'll believe it when I see it, because I know and I've heard the stories that he is interested in getting an NFL team. He has owned teams in all other professional ranks for the most part, and I think still owns several of them across different platforms, or has a stake in several of them. Anybody that gets a chance to own an NFL team, they're going to go do that, and they're going to go do that full go. So I believe David Blitzer is the answer to the money problem that this team has if it happens. Until then, this is how this goes, and you got to stick through it and just support these young guys. Try when they come home this week, the fans got to go out. They got to enjoy some nice weather. Maybe it's a little warm out there.
And if they do, the team's got to show up, because they're famously terrible for sellout crowds.
I mean, it's all around, and it gives you like this just not so great feeling.
I just hope they win Friday. I just really hope they win Friday. You guys should have a blast. I don't get to go.
Oh yeah, that's right.
I get to cancel on everybody. I can't do golf outings. I don't get to do other stuff that we'll talk about. I don't get to go to the game.
Yeah,
I hopefully get to move into my house.
We'll get into all that. We'll talk about that as the show goes on. But some stuff coming up for the show that we need to get into. But hey, just if you're a Guardians fan, remain a Guardians fan. Just know the riding roller coasters isn't always fun, but it's exhilarating, and it's at least fun some of the time. So
I mean, when the lows will make the highs better. Just remember that.
Yes. Pick them up when they're down. Enjoy the times when they're on top and having fun. That's reality check of the day right here from the Voice of the Land.